For years now, I have been chasing the high of World of Warcraft's structure, specifically the dungeons and boss fights and getting loot drops from the bosses. I just love a good grind, and plenty of games give me that. But in my opinion, there just hasn't been any games that scratch this itch that World of Warcraft has given me. I've always wanted World of Warcraft's dungeons, but removed from the MMO and into a single player or co-op game. Quite literally, just farming dungeons either on my own or with friends, with each of us playing a class with a specific role: tank, DPS, or support, or healer. It's such a simple concept, it's kind of shocking that it's taken this long for any developer to even try it. But that is changing with ATLYSS. ATLYSS? I really don't know the pronunciation of the name. I was scrolling through my Steam the other day and saw this randomly, and the screenshots on the Steam page alone caught my attention. Asked around and got a few positive recommendations, so I bought it. Now, what I usually do with games like this is buy it and kind of keep track of my playtime. If I don't like it within the 2 hours, I'll probably refund. I got to 119 minutes played and quit to think about if I was enjoying it, and before I could even think of an answer, I had played for an extra 6 hours. Right now, there's only 3 classes: Mystic, Fighter, and Bandit. I don't know if more are planned, but it seems as though there's space on the skill screen to allow players to dual class. This is accommodated by the 5 races, all of which have their own racial abilities. Imp, for example, has Siphon, which shoots a projectile at the enemy which does initial damage and 3 ticks of damage. These 3 ticks also heal the caster, which so far I found to be very, very strong. The other racials don't feel nearly as impactful. For example, the Birdle race has an ability called Inner Focus, which makes your next attack a 100% chance to be a critical strike. I see the value in this, I really do, but with the speed of combat in this game and this ability being a 2-second cast, I find it hard to ever really find a place to use it. I kind of feel this way about the classes too. I started with Mystic, the mage archetype, and I had a far smoother leveling experience than Fighter or Bandit. Fighter and Bandit aren't bad by any means, but their kits feel very catered towards co-op play. For example, Fighter is geared towards keeping enemy aggro, which in solo play you do anyway. It's very much a tank archetype, which is strange because Fighter has no way to self-sustain its HP, so it feels kind of weird to be taking all this aggro, and if I miss 1 or 2 attacks, I'm just left chugging health pots. Bandit feels the same way too, unfortunately. Bandit's kit is very crowd control and debuff heavy, and all the abilities have long cooldowns, so you're just default attacking a lot of the time. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of this is indeed skill issue. I haven't fully learned every enemy or boss attack patterns, and I'm assuming this all meshes together in co-op play, which I haven't had a chance to do yet. The main form of content you'll be doing is dungeons. This is what you farm for XP, money, and gear. Right now there's only 2 dungeons. The first one, the Sanctum Catacombs, has 3 difficulties, and the second, the Crescent Grove, has 1. Both dungeons have multiple possible layouts, so every dungeon run is going to feel different to a certain extent. You'll do basic puzzles, fight rooms full of monsters. It's the perfect example of an MMO dungeon. They're simply just fun. They don't waste your time. Each dungeon run is probably around 10 minutes, depending on your level and gear. The better your gear, the faster you'll get the dungeon done, obviously. My only complaint with the dungeons right now is that there's only 1 boss per dungeon, and it's optional. I really would like to see bosses spread out through the dungeons and not be optional. That would, in my opinion, capture the spirit of MMOs that this game has taken inspiration from. This is a shorter video, but I just really wanted to talk about this game and hopefully bring a bit more attention to it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to buy it. It's an early access game. There's a risk there. However, as I played it, I got a vision of this game's future. The raw, untapped potential behind it. The game is simply just fun. In a year's time, 2 years' time, this game is going to have much more content and just general systems to enhance the already fantastic gameplay loop. If you don't buy it right now, at the very least, keep an eye on it and its development.